that's so very true. And sometimes you don't have self accountability,
Right.
and we much rather blame others for our own actions. So with that being said, how important is it for young people to at first take accountability for themselves? Like, yes, their parent may be away or what have you, they may not show them love, but what can a young person, how can you channel to them and say this is how you have to be accountable for yourself?
Okay. My grandmother, may the Lord rest her soul, Leila Alfred, she used to always tell us, you can't cry over stuff you can't change. We may not like it, we growing up without a father is not there, whether it be due to incarceration or whether it just be to just, he's just not there. It's hard to deal with that as a young man. It's hard to deal with that as a child. However, when you're transitioning into that young adult / adulthood, you have to come to a point in your life where you have to say, listen, my father is not there, but I'm going to be better than him.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, it came, after I was incarcerated, and I wish it would have came earlier. But I don't want our young people to have to go through what I and many other brothers before me had to go through with that mass incarceration.
Right.
Okay, so you have to accept, you have to be accountable for yourself. Okay, we can't keep using the excuse that, okay, my father wasn't there, so I'm going to go rob this bank. Or my father wasn't there, so I'm going to snatch this lady pocketbook. My father wasn't there, so I'm going to pull this gun out and shoot this guy. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to, and that's one of the sessions, that's one of the components with this program, accountability and responsibility. And a lot of us don't know what being an accountable and responsible adult consists of, because that man was missing from the household. The father was missing from the household. And what do you have left? You have a single mother that has to work to put food on the table, especially nowadays in 2014. The mothers are in all types of job programs, job readiness programs, and that leaves the child with his own experiences, because the father is not there to pick up the pieces in life, and the father is not there to demonstrate accountability and responsibility. The father is not there to demonstrate what a man looks like, what a man acts like. How does a man treat a woman? A father teaches that by the way he treats the child's mother in the household, respectfully, cordially, casually, and a lot of these components, the root of a lot of what's going on in society today, with the killings, with the robberies, with the rapes, with the whatever, the root of that started in the household from the father not being there.
Right. And that's the unfortunate part about it. And that's why the FACT program should be something, well, it's excellent that it's in the prisons. It should be something that is like just out, period, because there are so many fathers out here that just really just don't get it. They don't understand. They might not be, as you said, locked away, but they're just not home or wherever, ripping and running because they have a relationship with the baby mother. Maybe it's not the most positive relationship, or I don't want to deal with her, so it's being taken out on the child. Then the child sees that, they feel that energy, and then they just do whatever.
And that's not right. That's not right at all. Regardless of what me and the child's mother relationship is, that shouldn't affect the child. Regardless, whether it was going to prison, whether it was just, running off to, the next female, or whatever the case may be. Forgiveness is something that we need to work on. And our fathers wasn't there to teach us that. And I'm not trying to play the blame game, blame the fathers. This is not a blame the fathers campaign.
Right, absolutely.
But at the end of the day, man, we got to step up and we have to do more. It's more to it than just riding and dropping off money. Fathers got to go up to the school and inquire about the education. Fathers got to go get to know those teachers. Fathers got to get to, go to those PTA meetings. Fathers got to check homework. You should have an open relationship with the mother to where as though, okay, children get out of school 3 o'clock. I'll make sure I'm over there in between 3 and 4 to at least do their homework with them. So what, she got a boyfriend? Or so what, she remarried and all that? You should have a relationship with him too. This man is living around your children. But a lot of us, man, the intergenerational curse has been going on for so long, even dating back to the plantation when they was breaking us up back then.
Absolutely.
And it just became a norm.
A learned behavior.
It became a learned
Now it's
behavior.
natural. But
you know?
see, yeah, right. And people don't realize that and don't understand that, and it's deeper than what they're thinking it is. So that's why it's so very important to be educated, to have some type of learning background. So when, as a substitute teacher and being in some of these schools and just seeing the outlashes of the children, because they do carry it with them into the schools. And it's really, really disheartening, because I know it's not just because they want to be bad. It's because of their outside situations that they're bringing into the school, because they don't know how to turn it off. So it's so very important to have programs that help, but it's also important to be aware. So, like, to be educated about things like this, like the FACT program, because if we don't know that the FACT program exists,
right,
then we can't better ourselves. So we can't. That's where accountability definitely needs to start. Self, what is going on here? Do I need to be a better person? How can I be a better person? How can I be a better person to help somebody else? Don't leave it with yourself. That's why I'm so amazed with you, because you didn't leave it with yourself. I'm going to make it a point to make sure everyone knows that. So you have been on countless interviews with different radio stations and stuff like that. So it's very important to just get the word out, and that's why I just commend you for what you're doing and the person that you are. It's just a blessing to see somebody just willing to stand, because if you don't stand for anything, you really do fall for anything. So it's really, really important for us to spread the word. That's why Encouraging Nation Station wants to work with and join this, because the FACT program is amazing, and it churns out greatness, even more than so what it was already, because if you don't know who you are, then you're just able to accept anything. So it's so very important that we have the words to talk and speak about these things that help our own community, because it's really in a shape of disarray, dysfunction, and instead of being a part of the problem, which may have been in the beginning, but you saw fit to be a part of the solution. So that means people can change, we can change, and we can do better, and we have an example, as Ron Waters said, and it's amazing that you want to continue getting this word out, and I'm going to make sure it gets out as well, because it's so very important, and people need to know. United we stand, divided we fall, and the FACT program is a very example how that is not, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to fall, we're going to stand, and I'm just so appreciative of this time that you did take out of your schedule, because you didn't have to do it. I'm so very appreciative.
A part of accountability and responsibilities, men do what needs to be done. You know, boys don't. So, you know, this is a good initiative. I appreciate you for having me. You know, we got to do better. We have to save our children. You know,
yes.
Being in this program when I was at SCI Greatersford, okay, like I said, when little Dawan was conceived and up until he was born, I never had the opportunity, being in prison, to sit down how you and I are sitting down right now in a one-on-one setting and have one-on-one time with just Daddy and me. You understand what I'm saying? And this program did that, and through the program, our bond grew stronger. You know, our foundation was stronger. You know, I learned things about him. You know, the reports that I was getting about his behavior in school, I learned why. You know, he opened up to me, about things that he wouldn't talk about around other adults. It helped me realize that the role that a father plays in our children's lives is a superhero, is a savior, is the biggest insurance policy that a children could ever think of, because he confided in me and shared information with me that he wouldn't dare do around another adult. You understand what I'm saying? And it opened my eyes, and it helped me realize that, wow, this needs to take place outside of the wall as well.
Absolutely.
So whenever I get out, little Dawan and I, we have one-on-one time, we can just sit down and we can just talk and we can just build. My son, they lash out and they cry out in different ways, and the whole time he just wanted to throw the football. He just wanted to play catch with his father. It's not about Nike this and different designer name brand that and this and that and buy me this and buy me that. It was just Daddy and me time. One-on-one. Let's go to the basketball court. Let's draw up plays in this playbook. Right. Let's throw the football. Let's go get my sister. Let's just eat some ice cream out the freezer. You know, and that's very, very, very important, man, that we spend time with our children and get to the root of what's bothering our children.
Absolutely. So with that being said, what is something that you can say to the viewers of Encouraging Nation Station to encourage them, because they may not be able to get out of whatever their brain is putting them into, whatever boxes people are putting them into, the young people who are depressed and just feel like giving up. What can you say to encourage them to make it to another day, to help them to know who they are and what they're going to do?
Absolutely. All I can say is it starts with self. All right. A lot of the times, you know, we fall on hard times. You know, we beat ourselves up. We feel down and out. We feel like everything, you know, nothing is going right. All I can say is, it's all about your self-will. What do you really want to do? You know, you can't cry over spilt milk. You got to mop it up. It is what it is. You can't cry over, you can't mope and be down in the dumps about things you can't change. It is what it is. Tomorrow's a new day. How we going to make it better? And today is the first day of the rest of your life. You know, your past is not real and your future begins now. And you have to come out of the box of what you're used to doing. Do something different. Change the people around you. Mm-hmm. To my black women out there, you're worth more. You know, you have to change the type of individuals that you deal with. Not all of y'all, but it has to be more than, you know, little so-and-so and such and such from down the street that's just laying on your couch and eating up all the cereal and drinking up all the milk and won't go to work. Our children are waking up in the morning and they're seeing that. On their way out the door to go to school, they're seeing Johnny and Ricky and Bobby up in the bed laying up with mama. Mm-hmm. And that does something to them psychologically. You have to want better. And when you want better, when you know better, you do better.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of men, you know, we don't really understand the definition of a man. The law of the land says that when we're 18 years old, we can be charged as an adult. Mm-hmm. And when we're 21 years old, we can, you know, have a drink of alcohol and, you know, smoke cigarettes or what have you. But that don't make you a man. There's a lot of grown little boys walking around society, 30, 40, 50 plus years old. Accountability and responsibility. The effects of a fatherless household is real. You have to change your way of thinking. You have to renew your mind. You have to want better. There's a lot of people from a decade ago that's still in the same condition a decade later, you know, from back then, because they don't want to do better. We just become content with sleeping on the couch, going in the refrigerator, you know, just having an indefinite fiance or live-in girlfriend. When are we going to take the next step and say, baby, I want you to marry me? You know, or when are we going to take the next step and say, you know what, children, today we're going to sit down and do homework. Today we're going up to the school. Today I'm going to call and make an appointment. You know, we have to come outside of the box of what it is we're normally doing and be your own self-motivation. Write out a plan of action. What are your short-term goals, your long-term goals? How can you make tomorrow different from today? How can you look next month on, you know, December what we at, the 18th?
Yes. Whoops.
How can we look next month at December the 18th or 19th and say, okay, what's different this month than last month?
Absolutely.
And go from there.
Absolutely. Well, Dawan Williams, I said it correctly?
Yeah, she said it correct.
Okay. You are very insightful. Wisdom is definitely grown with you. I can see it in the way you talk. So it's very imperative that you don't just listen, but we don't just hear, but we listen actively to what this young man has said, because we don't have to repeat anything, but we can do better. So with that being said, I truly thank you for being a part of this program.
Thank you for having me.
There's no way to go but up. God is good, and we're just going to keep on going in the direction He would have us to go. I thank you all for joining us, and you all be blessed.
Thanks for having me. You can.